Cenk Uygur, for all the qualms I do have with him, is good when he's on it, and he went on breaking points against a right-leaning pro-Trump lawyer, and it was the perfect mix of hilarious and just factually on point that made me want to cover it for our channel.
They're going to have to explain why Tim Walz decided to let rioters run wild while he twiddled his thumbs, and then why Kamala Harris promoted a fund to bail those rioters out.
Yeah, what do you think, Cenk?
All right, first of all, let's all be amused by the idea of someone who definitely should not be running. If they didn't call the National Guard soon enough and they just twiddled their thumbs while there was a riot happening, like on January 6th. Awkward. Okay, so listen, it's hilarious that we have agreement here. He thinks Tim Walz is the best candidate for them. I think Tim Walz is the best candidate for us. The brother passed all these wonderful laws that are intensely popular. Paid family leave, free lunches for poor kids. By the way, free college for lower income families so they can compete with rich families, which Republicans are going to hate. And they did hate. They voted against it.
Every accusation is a confession from these weirdos. I swear to that. Their main tool is projection. They want to point fingers and say, the left is doing this to justify the fact that they've been doing it for years. Now, a couple quick fact checks to throw in here. Tim Walz did deploy the National Guard. He did so on May 28th before then deploying the entire state National Guard 2 days later, for which Trump himself praised him for doing so. You don't believe me? Okay, well, here is Trump himself saying it.
I know Governor Walz is on the phone, and we spoke, and I fully agree with the way he handled it the last couple of days. I asked him to do that, and the whole world was laughing. 2 days, 3 days later, I spoke to the governor. The governor's, I think, on the call, and he's an excellent guy. You've got a big National Guard out there that's ready to come in and fight like hell. I tell you, what they did in Minneapolis was incredible. They went in and dominated. And it happened immediately.
There is Trump saying both that Walz did deploy the National Guard and that he did so immediately while praising him for the way that he handled it. So MAGA is just lying by trying to use this line of attack now, which is kind of funny because, as Cenk pointed out, Donald Trump actually sat back and let a riot happen doing nothing at the Capitol while being pleaded to do something by everyone in his administration, his family, everyone near him. They told him to call the National Guard, to post on Truth Social, to send his dogs home as a woman died, $1 million in damage was done. I mean, they were looking for Mike Pence to hang him, and all Trump did was to call state officials and try and pressure them into overturning the election in his favor.
He was the leader of a unit, and the moment that the Iraq war, that his unit was about to deploy, he just said, sorry guys, have fun, and just let them all go off to Iraq, and 3 of them died.
Okay, let me answer that. So the brother was in the National Guard for 27 years. He got at least 3 medals that I saw. And he enlisted. He's the highest enlisted ranked member of the armed services to ever serve in Congress. And you're going to compare him to Commander Bone Spurs, who ran from Vietnam, and they asked him, hey, your daddy wrote you a note about how you had bone spurs in your ankle. Which ankle was it? And he's like, I don't, maybe both. Your guy's a total, utter coward. He ran from Vietnam and then later bragged that his Vietnam was dodging STDs at the orgies he was going to.
And this is the perfect way to respond to MAGA trying to now run with this stolen valor line, which is just a bunch of lies and fabrications. They must have no understanding whatsoever about what stolen valor is, nor is it a real attack when Trump dodged the draft 5 times for a fake note that he had his dad write him about bone spurts. But they'll do anything for Trump, including attempting to disparage an actual veteran of almost 30 years. J.D. Vance also, by the way, was literally a reporter. Like he was in the public affairs division of the military, while Walz was in the National Guard and responded to disaster postings following floods and tornadoes and such. He won multiple medals while enlisted doing this and was then deployed to Italy for 9 months to help with their operations, where he also won medals there as well. And then after serving 4 consecutive 6-year terms, decided not to renew for a 5th so he could run for Congress instead, where he fought to end the unjust Iraq war and get benefits for veterans. What an evil guy, am I right? I mean, how dare he only serve 24 years and not do another term and serve 30 to go fight in a Republican pointless war that was founded on lies to send our innocent sons and daughters to go die abroad. And it's rich for the party of the military to disparage what it truly means to be a veteran.
He's doing it on the speech where he's making himself known, and then he shakes his wife's hand. I don't know if I shake my wife's hand, I get slapped.
And then I love every point about Tim Walz. It's as if they're talking about Donald Trump and don't realize it. That guy's really strange, says weird things. Can you believe he said inappropriate things? Really? A guy supporting Trump is going to tell us about how the other guy said inappropriate things, a vague joke about a couch? That's what but you're not outraged that Trump was like, yeah, I grabbed him by the genitals. You don't think that's weird? That's totally normal. And then, oh my God, I can't believe he shook his wife's hand. Well, that's better than Trump. Melania won't even touch his hand. So, I mean, everything you say about Tim Walz is like on steroids, comically true of Donald Trump.
This was the moment I spit out my drink laughing at how bad Cenk was exposing this guy and just the MAGA talking points he's using in general. They say, oh, well, how dare Walz bring up the couch stuff that's so inappropriate and then go vote for a guy who said that he would sleep with his daughter if they weren't related. And oh no, how dare he shake his wife's hand in a moment where he's trying to look professional. I mean, at least his wife will touch him. Melania doesn't want to even be seen with Trump. When she is, she's almost visibly grossed out by him, refuses to kiss him, hold his hand, anything else, which is actually the human response to being in the presence of someone who's literally raped a woman. So I can't say I even blame her there.
First, I should also acknowledge that the sexual assault that Donald Trump was convicted of was in public. He actually assaulted her in public. Yeah, what? He did. In a dressing room.
None of what you said is true. He was not convicted of a sexual assault. That is false.
A jury said he definitely did it, and it was in public.
It was a civil suit. It's not a conviction.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was a civil suit where the jury said he definitely did sexual assault in public. Okay. So now to the economic issues.
These are the lengths that you have to go to in order to defend Trump. And MAGA consistently makes these exact arguments all the time. Oh, well, it was over the statute of limitations for rape. Oh, it was just a civil suit. He wasn't convicted of it. Oh, it was 20 years ago. Like, okay, it was still rape. It doesn't matter by what way it was brought to court. It made it to court, and the court, a jury, and a judge found that Trump did indeed rape her. Rape doesn't not become rape because you got away with it for 20 years. That's like the weirdest defense. They're not at this point even saying, they're not saying it didn't happen. They're not saying this. They're not saying that. They're just saying, well, it was so long ago that who even cares? Well, for one, I'm sure the victim cares, and anyone with empathy should also care, but it's just one of those odd responses that show how weird MAGA truly is. And then also the desperate lengths that they'll go to just to defend Trump. They'll victim blame someone who was raped. They'll justify rape by saying, well, it was a long time ago. And they'll try to disparage a veteran, all because they feel that it helps Trump's chances. They have no morals. They have no ethics. They only have the shared goal of anointing a king. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together. Peace.